Welcome to Synagogues of Ohio, Part 4. In this episode, we concentrate on the Jewish houses of worship in Cincinnati. The first one is Adath Israel. It's a conservative affiliated congregation. This congregation goes all the way back to 1847 when it was called the Polish Synagogue. And even back in the 1800s, it was not Orthodox, but traditional conservative. The campus shown here was constructed in 1967 with additions to follow within the next couple years. Irvin Wise has been its rabbi since 1991. Services are held on a daily basis, both morning and evening. And since you asked, this is the location of its previous site in the Avondale area of Cincinnati from 1927 for the next 40 years. About the only non-transparent proof that this was once a Jewish house of worship are the Hebrew letters etched in stone above the three doors. Chabad in Cincinnati are a restless group. There are several branches and they seem to move around. Here is one on Summit Road that was taken about 3 years ago, but there is a sign on the building that indicates it is for sale. And then here is a newer facility on Hunt Road that is identified with Rabbi Yisrael Mengel as its director, along with several others listed on his support staff. And then here is the Chabad house that services the University of Cincinnati students. Rabbi Yitzchak Krieger is its director. This conservative congregation is now called Eitz Chaim. It used to be called Ohav Shalom. That's because there was a recent merger between Ohav Shalom and B'nai Tzedek. The merger and new name took place in January of 2015. Ohav Shalom was the much older one, having started out in 1882, whereas B'nai Tzedek had begun in 1964. Besides Friday evening and Saturday morning Shabbat services, there is also a Thursday morning minyan. And the reason we have held off in mentioning the name of a rabbi is because there isn't one. This congregation has all of its services led by lay leaders. And this one is enigmatic. This retail facility was, or currently is, the Free Russian Center, which is a Lubavitch-sponsored organization serving Russian-speaking Jews. So either this picture was taken before they moved in or after they moved to another location. And if they did, we do not have the information as to where it is. So here's a building called the Gulf Manor Synagogue. It looks a little unkempt. The building was completed in 1967. The Gulf Manor Synagogue is also known as Congregation Agudas Israel, and it has Orthodox affiliation. It began in 1932 as a result of a merger between the Anshe Shalom and B'nai Jacob congregation. In its heyday, it had up to 350 families. Now it lists about 250 member units. Its most recent rabbi is Pinchas Landis. There are more Jewish houses of worship that can be shown in one sitting in Cincinnati. So right now we're going to show you the final one on this excursion. It is the Isaac M. Wise Temple, a Reformed congregation. It is a unique congregation in that it not only utilizes this new campus, but its older one, which we will showcase in a little bit. This site, which is located in the Amberley Village section of Cincinnati, was dedicated in 1976. A major addition was put into place in 1996. Shabbat services are held both Friday evenings and Saturday mornings. Louis H. Camras is its senior rabbi. Karen R. Thomas Howe is its associate rabbi, and Michael E. Danziger is its assistant rabbi. This congregation has ties all the way back to 1840 when it was called B'nai Yeshurun. We mentioned that the synagogue also has services still being conducted at their previous location. This is the Plum Street Synagogue. This building was erected in 1866 and has a Byzantine Moorish architectural style to it. But what it does not have is anything on the outside that makes it recognizable as a Jewish house of worship, unless possibly one were to walk up close to it. It is used on Saturday mornings for Shabbat services. Part 2 of our look at Cincinnati's Jewish houses of worship coming up. So, see you soon.